Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Sparks Toyota, and I'm checking out a 2022 Toyota Prius all-wheel drive in the LE trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 195/65 Toyo tires wrapped around 15-inch. It's an all-wheel drive, so it has 15-inch wheels with wheel covers. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Windshield Pearl. And now that the sun is barely shining right now, hopefully on camera you can see that it's not just a normal regular white color. The pearl coat does give it a more of a premium look. So here in the front you can see it has the blue portion around the Toyota emblem, and the Toyota emblem serves as the radar adaptive cruise control sensor as well. There's also parking sensors here in the front, so you can see one integrated here into the black and then here body colored here in the white portion. And since this is a white vehicle, you can see the accents here in the grille a little bit better than other colors. So right here at the very bottom is a flat black plastic, and that's underlined with the white as well. And then there's a little section in here, this little tiny looking grille that is also that flat black plastic. Now the headlights and the turn signals, all the extra lights here in the front are LED. So it's a multi-projector. So the low and the high beams project out of the same projector tube. It's LED. Repositions the light and refocuses it for the high beams. The fog lights are also an LED projector. It's basically a focused beam, so it has a different purpose here at the bottom. Now, of course, with the Toyota Safety Sense, in addition to the adaptive cruise control sensor, we also have a camera system that's located right here that is for the mitigation systems, but also the lane keep assist system as well, keeping an eye on the lines of the road and the vehicles in front of you. Now there's a little light, an LED light strip right in here. It's kind of faint during the day, but that is an accent. That is not the daytime running light. The daytime running light is actually a dimmer portion of the regular headlight. Taking a look at the profile, I just want to point out something. The shape of the vehicle is to maximize the aerodynamics. So if you actually look at it, the coefficient of drag is one of the best of all vehicles as far as aerodynamics. So just to keep that in mind when you see the Prius, the shape and everything, that's the main part of the shape is the aerodynamics. So here on the side, it has body colored handles. The upper portion of the side mirror is also body colored. The rest is like a flat black plastic here on the sides, and then it has this gloss black to kind of connect the glass here on the side windows to the rear glass. So it kind of gives it that solidified look, especially if you were to tint these glass here. And since the pillars are black as well, it kind of solidifies this whole thing once they're tinted with the back glass. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key system, so you can use the vehicle 100% just by having this key with you. And it's a relatively light and smooth, rounded shaped key, so that way you can carry it around easier. Now it is a little bit wide here on the bottom, but it does kind of fit in the hand nicely, and I like the fact that it's not too heavy. It does have the lock and unlock buttons and the panic button, but generally as long as you have this key with you, it's just designed to keep it with you. It can be in a bag or in your pocket. As long as it's on the outside of either the driver or the passenger front doors, you can lock the doors by placing your hand or finger over the sensor, which is indicated by these two little lines right here, and it will lock the door. To unlock the door, simply put your hand behind the handle. It's beeping because the vehicle's turned on. To unlock the door, you put your hand behind the handle. So as a sensor back here, it senses the key on the outside of the vehicle and allows you access to the vehicle. Now, It also has a physical key location here on the driver's side only. And there's a physical key on the inside of this. So there's a little latch on the side right here that you can release it and slide the key out, and then you can unlock the door in case the battery's dead or something like that. Here's the inside of the passenger side door. Now it has what Toyota calls the moonstone interior, so it has a combination of black and a very light gray throughout the vehicle. So here on the door, the surfaces are mostly hard touch. So here's hard touch. This is like an injection molded type material here that's soft touch, as well as your armrest. It's not super soft because it bottoms out very, very rapidly, but it does have a soft surface. This part is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket if you need to. There's some gloss black here around the controls, and then there's a bottle holder and a pocket there at the bottom and a speaker. This is all hard touch down here. There's also a puddle light, which is nice. There's the threshold, manually adjusted cloth seats. It has these little like a teal looking stitching there on the side, which is neat. And then it has this pattern in the center of the seats. This is kind of like a microfiber, not like a plush seat. It also maintains that black and very light gray color. Here's the legroom, plenty of legroom, wide open space. Very, very little tapering here on the right side, but just a wide open space for your legs. Glove compartment is not locking. It does have a little soft landing there and a pretty standard size. A gloss black portion here, and then there's like a kind of a cutout. This is not like a pocket or anything. It probably could have been designed as a little pocket or something, but it's just kind of, you know, just to kind of give you a relief from like a stepped design, so it kind of slopes away from you, so you feel a little bit more of a spacious environment. This is a soft surface as well. All non-reflective surfaces up here are in the dash area. So looking at the opening here on the front, you can see there's lots of space getting in and out of the vehicle. Lots of room. The swing of the door is not super wide, but you don't really need it here in the front because you can see there's no limitations as far as headroom or anything like that. So it's real easy to get in and out. The back door, the swing of the door could be slightly wider because it does have some limitations here. You do have to get around this thing, and then the roof line swoops down a little bit. But really, it's pretty good back here. Seen worse for sure. This is not bad at all. As far as getting in and out of the back, you can see there's lots of headroom, and that's usually the limitation, is the headroom, trying to duck your head getting in. But you can see here in the front, where you would duck down to get in, is almost as high. It is as high as the front. So getting in and out of the back is not really an issue. So here's the inside of the back door. Once again, hard touch surfaces mostly, and then soft surfaces here and here. And once again, they're not that soft. So you can see just a little tap, you can hear the hardness underneath. It does have a little bottle holder, and this is also enclosed. So the back seat is basically one big bench seat. It does have some slight contours there on the edges and in the back to kind of simulate a bucket seat. It does have a armrest with cup holders. You can move that out of the way. And the car seats are attached here, and it has just a flap, and the flap just kind of lifts up, and you can really easily see the connections there. And the flap is not removable, so you don't have anything that you have to take out and find a place for. So it just flips up when you're using it, flips down when you're not using it. So that's very simple. So here's the leg room. There's a slight hump in the middle, but it's not really a big issue. The center of the seat bump in the middle. It's not really made for like super big adults to have 3 big adults back here, but you sure could have 3 adults, but depending on their size. Now it has a pocket on the back of both the driver and the passenger seats. Now the driver has a little zipper right here, so you can unzip that and put some stuff in there as well, which is pretty cool. You have 2 connectivity ports, charge ports, basically 2.1 amp charge ports in the back, so Toyota's paying attention to what their passengers are doing in the back seat, and that is playing with the devices and to the point where they need to charge them. Now these seats do fold down, so you can add to your cargo space in the trunk, so it's real easy to just flop them down. Now it does have a relatively flat floor with the cargo area, so which is nice. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it does have a body colored shark fin antenna right here. Just below that is a black portion that is not glass. It's just kind of design to kind of make the glass look a little bit bigger, I guess. But you can see the actual window doesn't start till right in here. This area is the actual window. It does have a rear wiper and a washer as well. But you also have another piece of glass that's down here. So you can see through here or here. The third brake light is right here in this center area, and it's LED. The backup camera is quite a bit offset over here, and the actual release is here in the center. Parking sensors across the back, and they're all in the body colored portion. The exhaust is relatively hidden here on the right side. The tail lights are standard halogen bulbs here in the back, unlike the front, and there's a reflector down here. So this is not a light, this is just a reflector. Let's go ahead and open up the cargo area. So we push that, it releases it, and you just kind of lift it up, and doesn't take much effort at all. The tag lights are actually LED. So you can see there's that window I was talking about. So there's a shade that is removable. First of all, you can slide it forward, but you can also completely take it out if you need extra cargo space. But it is nice to keep the sun off of your stuff and also prying eyes from looking in on your stuff back here. Now these little bag holders that flip down, you can hang stuff on them, on both sides basically. And there's a light back here. You can turn that on or off. It's not super bright, it's just a halogen bulb. It is only on one side as well. So the cargo area, not all that great lighting. It has tie down points on all 4 corners there and here in the front as well. There and there. And don't confuse those with the actual anchor for the tether. So right there is for the car seat, and that is for the cargo tie downs. They have different uses and different design purposes. So this lifts up, and this particular model does not have a spare tire. So this one has the tire inflator kit, and so you could get a spare tire as an option. And there's the tools, there's the jack and tools and everything, and there's a tie down tow hook right there, and extra cargo space as well. And there's also a place to put the shade, so you can put the shade under this floor out of the way. This shade right here, so you can take it out, put it under there. It's completely out of the way, but you can still keep it with you in case you need to use it again, instead of just like putting it in your house or something. Now these seats fold down. It's a 60-40 split. So there's the split right here. And so you can fold down this seat or that seat to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. Or you can fold them both down and have a really wide open space back here. Also with the opening here, since it's a hatchback, much bigger than a regular trunk. so you can see getting stuff in and out. You have a huge cargo area, but some vehicles have a very small entrance to that cargo area. This one has a really big entrance to the cargo area, which makes it much more usable for large items, large boxes, stuff like that. So it has a locking fuel door, and the fuel door is here on the driver's side, which is convenient. And it has a traditional cap, tether, and a place to hang the cap right here on the inside of the door. Get it out of your way. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, to start it, you just hold the brake and push this button. It senses the key inside the vehicle and it starts up for you. Now the thing about a hybrid vehicle like the Prius is that you may or may not hear the engine start. So the engine actually is on now, but if it doesn't turn on, it still has this little ready light letting you know that the vehicle's ready to drive, even if you don't hear the engine running. Everything is on and ready to go. The climate control system and all that stuff will turn on even if the engine's not running. So you don't have to listen out for an engine to start. You push the button and then it says ready and you're ready to drive, and the engine will turn on or off depending on its needs while it's driving, and you can experience the vehicle like any other vehicle. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice on this side the floor mat snaps in place. It keeps it straight for you. There's the accelerator, brake, and then it has a foot actuated parking brake, and then a large footrest here on the left. That's very important to me, especially on a long trip. So let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there is a latch a little bit to the right of center. So here's the center of the vehicle. Reach in a little bit to the right and you can feel a latch. You lift up on it, and then once you do that, you can lift up on the hood. So there's the latch right there. The hood is relatively light. Feels like it's aluminum hood. It's very light. You lift it up. It does require a prop to hold it up though. The prop is on the underside of the hood right here, and it swings down to that little place where that arrow is pointing. Right there is where the prop goes. So under the hood, there's some insulation, and there's a seal around the outer portions of the engine compartment, and this helps with airflow, noise, that kind of thing. Now it does have a regular traditional battery like you'd find in any other vehicle to start the engine and utilize just like a normal vehicle, but it has the hybrid system as a separate battery. Now it has the electric system that regenerates electricity when you slow down using the front wheels only. The rear wheels, since this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, have the ability to propel you and move the vehicle when needed, but generally they just basically roll behind the front of the vehicle and they don't diminish your fuel economy or anything. It just gives you that additional traction when you need it in the all-wheel drive system. So if you have any wheel slippage in the front wheels, then it engages the rear wheels and pushes you forward through whatever you need to get through. This is a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it has this plastic cover kind of position here, but the actual engine's, the top of the engine's back here. You can actually see the coil packs across the top of the cylinder head, and so it's basically a front-wheel drive positioned engine to where the primary drive system is the front wheel. So the engine is facing this way. This is the front of the engine. This is the back of the engine. This is some of your hybrid components over here. The transmission is down here, and it's a CVT, continuously variable transmission, but it's gear based. It's not belt based like some other manufacturers that a lot of people don't like. So this is a completely different system. It's extremely reliable, and it's been just a proven system over the years, and it is fun to drive, and it doesn't interfere with your driving experience or anything like that. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the passenger side, except for it has a few more buttons. All the windows are one touch up and down, so you can push it. The back windows go almost all the way down. You can see there's a little portion here in which you can see the glass when it's all the way down, but mostly all the way down. They go up and down quite fast. There's a little indicator light here for at nighttime, so you can see where the power windows are. Door lock controls are here. This is where you can keep the kids from playing around with the doors right here. And then the side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it like a little joystick. Now the side mirrors have the blind spot detection system indicators on them. So right in here, there's a little light that will indicate whether there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now they'll illuminate when there's a vehicle there, but if you put your turn signal on in that direction, they'll flash and also give you an audible tone just to let you know there is a vehicle there if you're not paying attention to that light. So there is a manually adjusted cloth seat on the driver's side as well, but it also has a height adjustment. So you're able to move the seat up and down using that height adjustment, which is a little bit more than what the passenger has. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. One is the automatic high beams, in which you can turn on or off. It has a little light letting you know that it is turned on. This is the dimmer switch for the interior gauges. The traction control default is on, but you can turn it off here in case you need to spin tires. And then this is your park in, park out button here. So you can actually push this, and there's a process that you follow in order to find a parking space, and then it actually turns the steering wheel for you and helps you park a vehicle. That would probably be a separate video showing you how to use that. So, tilt and telescoping steering column that you lock in place right here. So there's the lever, and it flips down, and then to engage it, to lock it, you pull it up, and it secures the column. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the driver's seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. I'm 6 feet tall, and it's a little bit too far back. I could put my legs straight out, and so I would have to pull it up a little bit to be a little bit more responsible as far as making sure I can press the brake all the way, that kind of thing. And also comfort. So the angle of the footrest is a little bit off now, but once I pull it up, so if you're a little bit more than 6 feet, shouldn't really be a problem driving this vehicle. So here's the steering wheel, and it is a synthetic type material here on the steering wheel, and it has a little simulated leather texturing on it. But the good thing about not having the wrapping, like the Softex wrapping or anything around the steering wheel, is it doesn't have the stitches on the inside, and also it's more durable long term. I mean, the other one is durable too, but this one is super durable, and it's easy to clean, and it's just that it has that extra comfort because it doesn't have that stitching on the inside. It does have the grips here. The thickness is good. It's just a really good, functional steering wheel. So the buttons here on the front, it does have the volume for the radio, change through the tracks of the audio. So audio channels or whatever, depending on what you're playing, will go up and down. So the volume, and then this will change through what's playing to the next track or whatever. And then the center part is the audio source. So mode will be, changing from the radio to, say, the Bluetooth or whatever, that kind of thing. You can reset the trip by holding that. The Bluetooth controls are here. You can answer a phone call, hang up, and then this is for the voice recognition. So let's say you want to push that and say call, somebody that's in your phone book, John Doe or whatever, then you can go ahead and call somebody while keeping your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, that kind of thing, and talk through the Bluetooth system. Here on the right, back here, there's a little stalk, and this is for the cruise control. Now it has, you can turn it on or off by pushing this button. So that's on, off, set, resume, and then you pull it in to cancel. Now it's not just a normal cruise control though. It is the adaptive radar cruise control, and you can set the distance between you and the following distance between you and the vehicle in front of you by pushing that. And you cycle through the distance that you want, and then it will, you just rest on the one you want. So you can see there's a little indicator up here giving you bars, a visual indicator on how far you want to be in front of the vehicle in front of you. Or behind the vehicle in front of you. This is the lane tracing or the lane keeping assist system. so you can turn that on or off independently. So while you have the cruise control on, if you want the steering wheel to kind of assist you in keeping the vehicle in the center of the lane, you can do that by having that turned on. These buttons, these arrows and the center button and this back button correspond with a screen, and we'll get to that in just a minute. The windshield wiper controls for the front and the rear are on the right side, on the right stalk here. On the left side is the turn signal, but it also has the headlight controls. So it has daytime running light off position, so that if you want a completely dark vehicle, at nighttime with all the lights off on the exterior, you can put in the off position. Parking lights, and then the headlights are here. The fog lights are controlled independently here. Now the fog lights do turn off when you put the high beams on as well. Okay, so you'll notice, if you're not familiar with Priuses, you'll notice typically gauge clusters are right here. So while you're driving, you're looking here, but right here at this first place on the digital cluster, you can see it has a large digital speedometer, fuel gauge, outside temperature, average fuel economy, and the odometer is here as well. To the right of that, this is the screen in which you can utilize these buttons here to get more information. To the right of that is little lights that turn on and off depending on what it's trying to tell you, like the seat belt's unbuckled, that kind of thing. Also the ready light, what gear you're in, and a digital clock. So using these buttons here, I'm going to use these arrows, the center button to make selections, and this back button. Using those on the steering wheel, this screen right here right now is showing the power delivery to each wheel. So the all-wheel drive system has the ability to put power to the front wheels and the back wheels. So depending on the situation, this is the status of the real-time status of the all-wheel drive system. So if I scroll to the right, you can see these icons pop up here at the top. And this eye is the first icon. When we scroll down on that first icon, we can get more information. So it has an energy monitor, so it actually shows where the power is coming from and where it's going, whether it's coming from the battery, the engine, and whether it's powering the vehicle at the moment. Right now, it's not driving anywhere. So when I put it in drive, and if I were to move forward a little bit, so you can see the arrows show that the battery is powering the vehicle. Now I'm stopped, it's not powering anything. So it kind of gives you the flow of the energy. Scrolling down again, this has a score on the way you're driving, how well you're basically being an economical driver as far as conserving energy. Scrolling down again, fuel consumption just kind of tells you the status of that. Right now it's not giving us a lot of information right this second. Drive monitor, so the average speed, and then it shows the EV driven ratio and the elapsed time during this since you've reset it. And you can reset this on a particular trip or whatever, and you can keep track of it if you want. Then you've got the eco settings here, eco diary, and back to the all-wheel drive system. Scrolling to the right, so this will be the clock settings, so you can adjust the clock, change it to military time or whatever. Scrolling to the right again is the climate control, just to kind of give you the status of the climate control. Scrolling to the right again, this will be your safety system. So it says red already. When I turn off this cruise control, it shows off. So red already is now ready to go. So you have to set it once you're driving, it'll show up. And then we can turn on the lane tracing assist here. So you can see it'll just kind of give you the status of what's going on there while you're driving. Scroll to the right again, stores messages. So this will be like time to change the oil, that kind of stuff. Will pop up here when it's appropriate. And the last but not least is the settings. So you can go in here and turn on or off different features that you want to have on or off and set up the vehicle the way you like it. Scrolling to the right again will take us back to the original information screen here. And you can choose whichever one you want. Let's say you want to have the eco diary or whatever. You don't have to have that first one. You don't have to have any of this stuff. We can, you know, the main focus is this one. This is the one that has the relevant information while you're driving. This one over here is just kind of extra stuff. Alright, so the four-way flashers are here, and below that is the touchscreen. So the touchscreen has, of course, the touchscreen itself, but it also has physical buttons around the outside. It's kind of like shortcuts. So the home button takes you to this screen, and it's a split between what's the audio's, whatever the audio your phone's doing, and then this one you can customize to whatever you want. Right now it's showing the energy monitor, letting you know whether the power is coming from the engine or the battery, and whether it's powering the wheels or not. So just like the other screen, when I put it in drive and I move forward a little bit, it's going to start showing me that the battery is powering the vehicle. Alright, so if we go to, we can actually choose these tiles. Go ahead and hit this one right here, and it takes us like a shortcut to an audio related thing. So right now it's showing us the sources. So AM, FM, satellite radio, USB, and Bluetooth are the audio sources that I can choose from. And let's go ahead and go to satellite radio.
Big 80s.
And then, so you can see, you can go back to the source if we want to. It has album art and presets here at the bottom, and it shows what radio is doing. And we can adjust the sound and stuff like that. Alright, so let's go to menu here. So menu will give you these different icons. It's similar to a cell phone, in which it has like these little tiles. So it has audio, phone. Once you pair your phone, you'll have access to all, you know, send and receive calls, all that stuff, your phone book. Apps pops up this, and you can set up a Wi-Fi, and you can go into your notifications here. But projection is for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability. So you can, once you have the device connected using a wire, then it'll pop up here and, you know, give you that capability. But right now it just says projection. Information, if we hit that, it goes into the eco information, similar to what you saw up there. Just a little bit more elaborate design. And you can see the trip information. Let's go back. And then the history. So you can see what's been going on lately. And you can clear it and reset it. And, you know, have, like, say if you want to see what particular trip is better. So you can drive one way to work, reset it, drive another way, and see which one's better as far as saving fuel economy, that kind of thing. And then setup is all the different options here and what you can turn on or off. Set up the vehicle. This is basically, you do this when you first get it, and then you get the vehicle, you set up the way you want, and then you don't really have to worry about it so much. And Bluetooth, audio, you set up your audio, phone, voice recognition, the vehicle, Wi-Fi, apps, all that kind of stuff. Physical buttons here on the right side. Now the map, when I push the map button, navigation is not installed on this vehicle. So if you want to install that, you can see your dealer, but that's what the map button is for. Over here, change through your tracks, shortcut to your phone and your apps is basically a little bit of redundancy just for convenience. Volume for the radio, change through the tracks here, pretty traditional knobs. The climate control, although you can see the status up here on this screen, this is the actual controls, and it also shows status as well. So it has automatic function, so you can put on automatic, set the temperature, and it kind of does everything for you. Or you can change the fan speed where you want the air to blow manually on these buttons. So it's basically up and down, like so. And you can turn off the system completely here. Front and rear defrosters as well, and when you turn on the rear defrosters, it also turns on the heated side mirrors as well. It has little status lights. Now, Eco Heat and Cool kind of cut back on the extremes as far as, you know, blasting out so much, you know, heating or cooling. Now that the engine started, I just want to show you that the engine now is powering and charging the battery, but it's not driving the vehicle. So if it's driving the vehicle, then it'll go here and here, so it can actually charge while you're driving, that kind of thing. Recirculate the air, turn on or off your air conditioning. And then this is if you want to, if you're just driving by yourself and you don't want any climate control to go in the back, you can turn that on or that on there. So there's a little status light, and it kind of shows you what's going on here on the screen as well. And when you toggle it, it lets you know where the actual climate control is going. Adjust the temperature. So it's pretty easy to use, and it looks nice. It has nice visuals on what's going on, what the status is. It's very easy to glance at it and see what's going on. Now, there's a lot of glare on the camera, and it's not really in person. Like, I can see everything just fine, but the camera kind of makes it look like the glare impedes your visibility on the system, but it's not really the case. Okay, so down here is a shift. This is the shifter, this little thing right here, and it's an electronic shifter, and basically it frees up. Having a small shifter up here frees up this area, and it takes just a few moments to learn how to use it. So you can press and hold it here to go in neutral. Over and up is reverse. The backup camera will pop up here when you put it in reverse, and you can see that has little guidelines there in the middle, and it has a pretty wide view, so you can see from the bumper to the sky and all the way around, so give you an idea of what's behind you. Alright, so to drive, you just pull it over and push it down. Now we're in going forward drive, and the engine will cycle on and off. So like the engine just turned off right now, but we're still able to drive. To put it in park, you just push the park button. Now, if you were to accidentally turn the vehicle off and it's not in park, it'll automatically just put it in park. Now, it has the ability to have some engine braking, and so let's say you're going down a really steep hill and you need to, you know, use the vehicle to slow you down instead of holding the brakes a lot. You can basically just pull it down like that, and it'll put it in that engine braking mode. It'll slow you down more, and since the engine is not running, it'll actually use the regenerative braking system to slow you down and charge the battery. So it uses that extra inertia, that extra energy of the vehicle being pulled down the hill to recharge the battery as well. Alright, so this is where you can change the drive mode, and this has a specified EV mode. So when you put it in EV, the battery has to be more charged than what it is, but it actually focus on using the battery as much as possible. The drive mode, it's like when you cycle through it, so it has eco mode, normal, which a blend, and then power. So power will run the engine a little bit more to give you that additional power while you're driving. Normal will just kind of like give you a blend, and then eco will focus more on the electric driving. And then the EV mode will try to give you the maximum amount of driving without turning the engine on until absolutely necessary. So that's your different drive modes, and you just cycle through and rest on the one you want. So down here is a little storage area, and it has a little grippy rubbery surface, so that way whatever you put there doesn't slide around too much. Another little spot there, and then the cup holders that has these little articulating arms to kind of help. I wish all vehicles had this. It's amazing, some don't. When you put a bottle in there, if it doesn't have these little arms to keep it steady, it's wobbling around and driving you nuts while you're driving. So I'm glad they have those. And you notice this is all a smooth plastic, so it's very easy to clean. If you spill something or whatever, you can just easily wipe it up. At the bottom is a rubberized floor, so you can take those out and clean them, put them back in as well. And also it keeps things from rattling if it has a rubber floor as well. Alright, so right here is a 12-volt power supply and then a USB port. So this is where you connect your devices. And this is your armrest. Now it's a cloth armrest, and it's not super soft, like it bottoms out quickly. It feels like a anvil with a rag laid over it, to give you an idea of how cushy it is. That's the way the side doors are as well. There's not like a pillow or anything. So this lifts up, and it has like a button right here, and it opens up. Now it's got a bunch of stuff. This is a demo vehicle, by the way, but it has the ability to put, this is basically the junk drawer of the vehicle. You can put all your stuff in there. And so you notice it flips this way. Instead of lifting up that way, it flips this way. So that way it's a little bit more accessible for some people to have it open up that way. And it's pretty good size. And as you see, it's going to be a junk drawer of the vehicle. It just kind of gives you access to things that you may need. Just a quick access storage compartment besides your glove compartment, and besides having stuff out, getting in your way. Rear view mirror. It's manual day and night mode. Pretty traditional there. So up here, there's a place to put your shades. It has like a felt lining on the inside. Quick tap lights here, just quick reading light. And then you can turn on all the interior lights by pushing that button. Turn them all off by putting it over here, and this will actually disable the interior lights from turning on when you open the door. To have that feature on, you put it here in the center. So right there in the center position, now when we open the door, it turns on the interior lights. If you have a baby sleeping in the car seat or whatever, and you want to turn that feature off, you just put it in the off position. This is roadside assistance, so if you need emergency assistance, you can push that, and it has a little cover to keep you from accidentally pushing it. The visors have like a vinyl wrapping on them. They have a mirror with a light. They do not extend out, but they do have a little extender that extends out from it. So what's good about this is that instead of shifting your coverage, it actually adds to your coverage when you do that. So if you have it over here, you can slide it out, and it kind of adds to your coverage. But there's no clips or anything. There's no clips to, put your registration or anything like that. It's just, or paperwork. So it just doesn't have that capability. And the passenger side is basically the same thing. Taking a look at the visibility in the back, so you can see there's that portion of glass that's in the bottom portion of the hatch. You can see it does a pretty good job of adding to your visibility. Since the upper portion is a little bit thin, the bottom portion is a little bit thin, so together they give you a pretty good visibility back there. And the pillars are a little bit wide, but it's not a big deal. They're not that much wider than, say, the headrest or whatever. And the visibility is going to be contingent on your passengers back there, how big their hairdos are, the cargo that you have back there, that kind of thing. So having the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert system, also the camera and parking sensors, all that stuff help out with driving the vehicle safely, changing lanes, all that kind of stuff. But the visibility is not really an issue. There's plenty of vehicles out there that have visibility issues, and this one really isn't one of them. All right, thank you for watching, and thank you to Sparks Toyota here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.